So in the last tutorial we talked a little bit about the GUI class, and we looked at one element of the class, which is the box. We also looked at execute and edit mode, which allows us to view our code live in the editor. So in this one we're going to continue to program our GUI. In particular, we're going to continue to work on our console window, which is going to be a live window that we're going to be able to turn off when we press the C key. That's going to show us the errors when we're playing our game. Again, a console window is, a lot of engines out there like the CryEngine and Unreal and all these other have a console window built in, and you would actually do it with the tilde key and not necessarily the C key. I mean, you could code it any way you like. I just like it for the C because it means console. Alright, I'm going to introduce you to another method called void late update. Now, this is a pre-built-in method inside of Unity. What late update allows you to do is it actually runs at the end of every frame. So it's going to, after an action happens or a frame happens, it's actually going to run at the bottom. So it's another pre-built-in method. And what we're going to use it for is we're going to use it to check if our key was pressed. Now I'm going to show you a little bit of code, and you have to pay particular attention to this because this is a new way of sort of writing if statements using the question mark operator. So what we're going to say is we're going to say show console here. Now remember, this is a Boolean value equals whether or not our key is pressed. So input dot get key down key code dot C. So what this is saying is show console equals input dot get key down key code C. So if we press C, it's going to set this to true, right? If we release C, it's going to set it to false. Okay, so how do we do that without writing an if statement? Well, there's another operator called that's the question mark operator. And you could think of this almost as an if statement. So by writing, and it's a shorthand way of writing if statement. So I just kind of want to introduce you to this because you're going to see this in some sections of code. So by writing this, you can actually say this. So if we press this, you can do two parameters, and the way that's broken up is with a colon. So you'd write your first parameter here, which is your if statement here, and then your else statement is when we release it, you'd write it here. So what we want to do is we want to set show console to false. Now if you remember, the way to do that really quickly is just to say not show console, and then we want to set show console to true. I'm going to hit Control S to save this, and we're going to test this. Now I want to point something out here. Let's just sort of review the code really quick. Remember that we set show console to false right away, and if our console is set to true, show the box. So from the get-go, it's not going to show our box. And actually, if I move this down, you shouldn't see the box in the interface, even though we have execute and edit mode on, because right now it is set to false. So we're going to do a late update, which means at the end of every frame, remember update checks every frame, late update checks at the end of every frame. We're going to say show console equals true or equals false or true, depending on whether we press the C key or not. Okay? So if I hold C down, it's going to set it to true. If I release it, it's going to set it to false. Alright? So let's try this out. It's just kind of our switch. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and shrink this. I hit Control C, press play. I'm going to press C, and you can see I can turn my console on and off, so that when I'm playing, if I don't want to see my console window. Alright, now, there's a couple other cool little features I want to build into my console window, like setting up the month and date and all that other stuff. Alright, so let's start by creating, setting our console title to something useful here. Okay, so I'm going to create another function or method, and I'm going to call it void print message. Now we're going to be able to call this many times to print different things to our console. What I'm going to say here is console title equals console title plus some code here, my date, month, and year. All right, let's start by using our new line character. And what this will do will shift our text down to a new line. And we're going to say console title equals console title plus this plus time colon space, so that we get a little bit of time, plus system dot date dot now. Zoom out a little bit. So in this systems class, I can actually access the time and the date. Dot now. Dot. Now the thing is, it's going to import it in as a string, so we have to convert it, or it's working on numbers here, so we have to convert it to a string. And let's do hours, minutes, seconds, and then I'm going to copy this all over again. Paste it. Let's zoom out a little bit more here. You can see we have console title equals console title plus new line time, and we could actually do another new line here. Put a plus. Don't forget your plus here. We're going to change this to date. Month, day, year. Do two lowercase d's, and we'll do like all four, like 2014. So all 4 year marks here. And then we'll do plus message. Okay, so by doing it in one continuous stream instead of multiple lines, we input the entire month, date, year here together. So right now I'm just going to hit enter here and zoom in, so you could pause the video. Make sure to put it all in one line, but so you could see the code a little bit better. Go ahead and pause it and double check your code against this long string here to make sure it looks the same. And I'm just going to undo and go back now so I can continue to code. Alright, so after this line of code, I'm going to create another, let's make this method public so that we can actually access this from other lines of code. I'm going to make another public variable, public void clear console, and I'm just going to set console title equal to an empty set of parentheses. So what that does is we can actually clear our console because we're going to feed different information into our console title here. Alright, I'm going to hit Control S here just to show you kind of, we've got compiler errors, oh, message. You know what, I forgot to pass message in here. So public string message. And actually we don't even have to make it public. That's actually wrong. So string message. And what that's going to do is it allows us to receive information here, and then it's going to add the message to the bottom of this here. And you know what we can do is we can, to further break it up, we can add a colon here. Alright, I'm going to save this. Close this out for a second. Here's our console window. Alright, in the next tutorial we're going to take a look at what we can do with that.